Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm the owner of Anderson Aviary in Colorado. I'm going to talk to you today about birds. Mostly, you're going to understand that birds are flock animals. They do better with more birds around. A bird in isolation doesn't do well. I usually try to tell people, they are born in a clutch. Usually the clutch is 2, 4, 6 eggs, and they're raised together and they live together, and that's how comfortable they are. If anybody should live alone, would be the humans. We give birth normally one at a time, but yet we take our children and we school them to teach them social skills and how to interact with other people. But then we try and take a social animal and isolate it and have it be the only one in the family. That doesn't really work well for most birds. Birds find us humans boring. We are just very boring people. So what you want to do is try to make yourself more fun. I usually tell people we put toys in the cage for one reason, to keep the birds entertained. So why not wear toys? So when the birds are out, they can have fun with you. So I have like this vest, and I have little shoulder pads so they can hang on to it better. And then I have a little chain, a plastic chain. These are like teething rings. You can get like shower curtain rings and that kind of stuff too. So you can hang more toys off of it. But then you hang toys on a hook or on the necklace, and then you can just pass it around to whoever wants to hold the birds, and it gives the birds something to do so they're more entertained. Otherwise, we're just boring. So this way it kind of gives them some fun and things to do and kind of hang out and be with you. So normally what you want to do is take them out, especially a baby bird, take him out of his cage and play with them and handle them about 20 minutes at a time. And then you want to do is put him back in his cage for about an hour, and then you can take him back out for 20 minutes, put him back in an hour. I usually tell people about every month you can add 5 more minutes being outside time. What you want to do is make sure he's getting plenty of rest and he's getting food and water. Otherwise you will lose your baby bird. He may not want to go back in because it may be boring. You might be a lot more fun. But you have to step up and say, you have to go back in there and I'll be back. And while they're sitting in their cage, if you want to, you can read a book to them or read something to them. I find when we talk, our voice stays pretty level. But when we read, and we go, oh, and the cat said meow, and then the bird's like, oh, that must be exciting, because your voice changed up and down. So if you read to them, they really find that entertaining. So I usually try and tell people, if you just want to hang out or if you're not feeling well, read. Just read to them, leave them in their cage, they don't have to come out. There are times where we aren't in the best of moods. So I usually try to say, if you're not feeling that great, the best thing to do is just leave the bird in the cage. Sit next to him, play some music. You can also just read a book, just kind of talk with them, that kind of stuff too. They don't always have to come out. So those are some things that you want to consider. When you get a new bird, your house is going to be quiet. And so a quiet house usually means danger to birds. So they're unsure of what's going on. So if you're the flock leader means you are the protector. They're going to trust you for what is going on. So being the flock leader only means you are their protector, kind of like a parent is to a child. So flock leaders are going to have to just step up and put them back in their cage when they're not being having time to eat and drink. Or if you want to do something else, you're the flock leader, you do that. Play music, that kind of stuff too, so it keeps them entertained. You want to make sure you feed your birds every day. Usually they eat better in the mornings, so make sure you give them fresh food and water every single day. I usually have people put a bowl on the floor, like the bottom of a planter, what catches the water. Something wider, like maybe a 6-inch bowl. And then what you do is you take your seed mix from the top of your cage and you pour it upside down into the bowl on the floor. So now the bottom becomes the top and there's less waste. The bird can go down there, pick through it, and you still eat the food and stuff out of there, and then you have fresh food in a cup. I never use water bottles. I find them very hard to sterilize, hard for birds to get used to. Birds need to be able to soak their food, maybe take a bath. Their feathers and stuff count on that. So a small open dish of water, usually the standard cages come with a 2-inch surface of the water bowls and stuff too. So, just use those instead of water bottles. So a lot of things are toxic to birds. So you want to make sure that you're aware of the toxicities around in the environment. I usually say anything that's not fresh air could be toxic to your birds. Cleaning your ovens are lined in Teflon, and so if you heat your oven up too hot, Teflon will come out into the air and your birds will be gone. It doesn't take long for them to die. Open lids to a toilet bowl. A lot of times they can hit the back of the toilet bowl, fall inside. It takes 3 seconds to drown. You don't really have a lot of time to save them. So usually I tell people, if you have pet water bowls on the ground, if you have toilet bowls, make sure that they're covered, that they're closed all the time, so that your bird doesn't end up in that kind of situation. Hairsprays, perfumes, people working on their cars, your neighbors, smoke, any of that stuff, very toxic. So you want to do is make sure you have someplace safe for them to go. I usually tell people, like in a bedroom, you can close the door, put the cage and stuff in the bedroom if you have any kind of cleaning, anything that you're not so sure about. Sometimes you have wildfires and smoke. Try to put them someplace safe that you can put something down by the door to help keep the smoke and stuff from falling and coming into the house and that kind of stuff too. So those are kind of the brief things to kind of cover with the birds. You want to make sure that they're safe. You're the flock leader. You are in charge of their survival and their protection. So you just want to have some fun. So, play with them, have a good time. Don't overdo it. Let them get some breaks, but enjoy them. A lot of times kissing them, we give them bacteria and germs from our mouth. So I usually say, don't do that, especially around the mouth area. If you want to kiss them, maybe you can kiss them behind the wings, behind the neck. Give them a little peck there. Just don't let them eat out of your mouth. Don't give them a lot of kisses. Animals, licking them, your dog or your cat, it's very bad for them because they're going to groom themselves, they're going to groom their feathers, and then when they end up doing that, they're going to be licking in that toxicity, and then you end up not with the healthy bird. So those things just try to avoid. If you have questions, give me a holler. If you've gotten a bird from me, you're my customer. I'm here to help you. I want you to succeed. I want the birds to succeed. I want everyone to be happy. So that's what I'm here for. I want to help you. I'm trying to do this online because of our virus. It's a difficult decision to not meet everybody in person and spend a normal hour with them going over all these things that I'm going over with, and answering questions and stuff too. It's just something I'm going to have to try. Also, another thing, when your baby bird gets away from you, which sometimes they will, scoop them up with both hands. Don't grab them and twist and pull. Every bone in their body is hollow, and they're full of air sacs. That's how they can fly, and it's very easy to hurt them, and you don't mean to. So use both hands and hold them up this way. Teach them to step up is not a hard thing to do, but when you offer them your finger, they don't quite understand what that means. They weren't born with a human manual going, oh, this means that and this means this. They don't understand. So you kind of just pick them up, you just kind of hold them a little bit, kind of comfort them. You're the protector, you're the leader. Love them, enjoy them, have a great life. I'm here to help. Have any questions, give me a holler. And Good Food Mix is the stuff that I make. It's sold online. I'd be happy to sell my food mix and keep them happy and healthy. And we'll talk next time. Take care, everybody. Be safe.